I'm going away for a while, and it's Ask Me Anything. So, ask me anything you want. JimmyRants.com is the website. Here today, we are live on Jimmy Rant's Instagram page. We go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, so thank you so much for being here today. We also simulcast live over on my Facebook page, as well as over on Twitch, where Annabelle just said good morning. Good morning to you, Annabelle. Twitch, by the way, is an app you can download, so download the Twitch app and then go ahead and follow me over there. Jimmy Moore Rants is my username over on Twitch, so go check that out. If you missed the live, you can watch it on the replay right here on the Jimmy Rants Instagram page. We put it right up on IGTV just as soon as this show is over. It's also up for replay on Twitch. A lot of people watch the show on replay on Twitch. It's also available for replay over at YouTube. We put it up within an hour after the show is over. And then finally at JimmyRants.com is the official website. So hello and good Friday to you guys. It is Ask Me Anything. That's what we do here on Jimmy Rants on Fridays. Literally, I open the floor to you guys to literally ask whatever you want. You hear me talk about and rant about so many subjects so often, you kind of know what I have knowledge base on, so pick my brain. I love doing that. I love coming on here and seeing what's of interest to you. I did get several that came in ahead of time that we'll get to here in just a minute. One kind of ugly one, but I want to address it head on in the show today. But before we get into the headlines, which I do have a few of those as always, I want to let you know I am going away for a bit. Lately, I have just not felt myself. You ever get that way? Since I posted about this today on social media, go read any of my social media pages and you can see my post about this. But I have just felt in like the doldrums. And I know that everything that's been going on in the world and everything that's happening, a lot of people are struggling. And then on top of that, I have a very difficult, ongoing, has not ended yet, kind of personal thing going on in my life, which has made this incredibly challenging for me. You guys know I come on camera every day. I try to bring energy. I try to bring authenticity and positivity and all the things that you know me for. And quite frankly, I feel like I'm having to fake it a little bit some days now. So I got to get away, and I'm going to get away, and I'm going to not feel bad about getting away because I need it for me. I say all that just to say I won't be here on Jimmy Rants for sure the entire next week. So I'm going to evaluate how I feel at the end of next weekend, and if I'm not quite ready yet, I'm going to stay away. So just know that I'm okay physically, but I am not well mentally right now. And there's such a stigma in our culture when you start talking about you're struggling mentally. People are like, oh my gosh, go see a shrink and get your head on. What's wrong with you? And I'm thinking, okay, that's heartless. Let's give people some grace. Let's understand that we are in unprecedented times, and these times are causing a lot of issues for a lot of people. And so being mindful that people are going through tough stuff. It's why I try to check on my friends often. You okay? Like, that's literally what I do for a lot of people in my life that I care about. You okay? Things going all right for you? And if you're not already checking in on those people you care about, please check in on them. Please drop them a text, drop them an email, call them, something, and just let them know that they're being thought about. Because I think right now a lot of people feel all alone going through stuff. They feel like there's nobody really that cares. And there's a lot of people that care. And I think if we're mindful of each other, then we won't stay down. Like, again, you guys know me well enough. I try to be cheerful and positive and full of energy in everything that I do. I give 1,000,000% in my work. But I recognized that I needed some time away. So just to define what that means, I'm still airing my podcast. So I'll still have One Step Deeper on Mondays, Living La Vida Low Carb Show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Real Talk on Thursday. All of that's already set up. All of those are already pre-recorded, done. They just need to air. So when you see me post about my podcasts next week, don't say, I thought you were going away. I am away. I've got people that post stuff for me. So don't think that I am working when I said I would not be working. So, but I need this for me. And I think most of you understand that. And I want to challenge you. Are you feeling kind of in a funk? Have you had doldrums? Are you feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't take this much more? You might not be able to just sit down from your work and get away and da-da-da, but you can do proactive things to take care of yourself. And more than anything else, just love yourself and care about yourself and be willing to invest in you as much as you would your best friend, as much as you would somebody that you deeply care about. If you don't deeply care about yourself, how do you expect anybody else to care for you in the same way? So I'm going away. Don't be sad. And by the way, I'm physically fine. I feel great. I'm getting great sleep. My diet's dialed in. I could probably stand to work out more. So probably while I'm gone, I will be upping my workouts just a bit, maybe getting into a bit of a routine with that maybe sticks when I come back. And I might get away and do some things for fun. I have not traveled. I think one of my problems, you guys, honestly, is I miss people. I am a people person, and I'm one of those kind of people that touch is like a necessary thing to feel human. And I haven't had much touch. Like I literally saw and went 3 different places last year and saw like 8 people all year long last year. And I'm normally exposed through the keto conferences and all the other things in my life and the travels that I get to go speak. Thousands upon thousands of people and hugging them and talking to them. And, you know, we have lost so much of our humanity, not being able to have the one-on-one, eyeball-to-eyeball conversations, touching someone's hand, hugging, all the things. I know I can't be the only one struggling with all that. So I recognize it in myself, and I'm going to try to rectify that. So just don't panic if I'm not here on Monday and all of next week. I am specifically walking away for a period of time. My stated period of time that I would like to be away is definitely all next week. And then we'll try to reevaluate next weekend to kind of see where I am. If I feel like I'm rejuvenated and ready to come back, I'll come back. And I'll do Jimmy Rants on that following Monday. If not, then I'll stay away. And stay away until I'm feeling better. So just wanted to give you the heads up on why you won't see me at all next week, other than my podcast. So if you still follow my social media, yes, you're going to see me on there, but that's my people posting my podcast stuff for me. About the only thing I might still do is on my stories on Instagram. I post my sleep every day. I might still post the sleep because I've done that for over 3 years in a row. So it'd be silly not to share that. But if I don't feel like doing it someday, I just won't do it that day. So, but just want to give you guys that update to let you know what's going on. And if you just joined us, this is Ask Me Anything here on Jimmy Rants. And so this is literally the day of the week where if you have a question for me, please go ahead and write it down in the comment section below. And here in a minute, we'll get to your questions. But before we get to the questions, I have some headlines here. Remember hydroxychloroquine? Back in like March, April, May last year, it was being used by a lot of physicians, and they were seeing great efficacy with the prevention of, as a prophylactic, as well as an early treatment for 9-1-DIVOC. And so then in, I think it was July, the emergency use authorization for hydroxychloroquine to be used with 9-1-DIVOC was pulled by the FDA, and they said you can't use it anymore. So then there was a group of doctors that came out and said, hey, hydroxychloroquine and Zithromax and zinc is like powerful at eradicating 9,1-divoc. And then they were censored. And then anybody that mentioned anything positive about hydroxychloroquine, they had it removed and they were censored and they were gagged. Well, guess what? I got a little article here. Headline, this is out of Cincinnati.com. Hydroxychloroquine may have some use after all in treating 9,1-divoc, according to a new New Jersey study. A Hackensack Meridian Health study shows people who exhibit mild symptoms of 9,1-divoc may be helped by hydroxychloroquine. The recently published study looked at a group of people treated as outpatients. They found that those who got the hydroxychloroquine, which is anti-inflammatory, were significantly less likely to end up in the hospital. Doctors who conducted the study say the findings say that we need to test it further for this use. Well, how about them apples? So it looks like those doctors who did that video that went viral on the steps of the Supreme Court last year around July, it looks like they were right. And yet they were vilified, they were rejected, and they were basically made to be fools. Well, guess what? They were right. And this is why I think it's so dangerous that we live in this world of you must speak our truth or you will be vilified and you will be silenced and you will be canceled. That's horrible, guys. They had a treatment option that they knew firsthand from their work with patients that was going to work. They were told you can't say those things. And now research is confirming exactly what they were doing. This is why we don't need to shut down debate. We need to welcome debate. We need to hear from all sides and let that argument, let that debate come out and vet out what is true and what is not. Dangerous, dangerous what we're doing, not letting all voices be heard. But it's good to know that at least posthumously, after they've been censored, that they were right after all, according to this new study. The next headline I have for you is from the Children's Health Defense.org. You know about the vegan meat burgers. So one of them is called the Impossible Burger. Headline, fake blood additive in the Impossible Burger, not properly safety tested by the FDA. So the Center for Food Safety says that the Food and Drug Administration did not conduct adequate testing of the genetically engineered color additive meant to make the Impossible Burger look like it's bleeding. And so in a legal brief filed on January 28th, the Center for Food Safety sent a challenge to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's 2019 approval of this ingredient called Soy Leg Hemoglobin, which is, that sounds familiar, hemoglobin in meat would be the blood. And so they have like a soy version of blood, basically. It's a color additive used to make the plant-based burger, the Impossible Burger, look like it's bleeding. So this colorant is produced in genetically engineered yeast and is modeled on a protein that's found in soybeans. And so the GE Heme, genetically engineered, is actually a color additive preparation that contains over a dozen yeast proteins. It's brand new to the human diet, so it hasn't been fully vetted. And so there's basically now a legal brief against the Impossible Foods Company of, we don't know what this is going to do to humans who consume it. And it's been very weird to me with these plant-based burgers. They're so anti-meat. They're so anti all the imagery related to animal-based foods. Why does your vegan burger need to bleed? Doesn't make any sense, does it? So anyway, that'll be an interesting brief to pay attention to see what ruling comes down on it. But when you don't know enough about how it's going to happen, how it's going to respond in humans, you don't put it out there and you don't give it your approval and you don't let it get by without some scrutiny. This is my problem with the V word out there right now. all of these mRNA V words have not been tested on humans before. So we got a bunch of guinea pigs out there getting jabbed in the arm, and we're going to see what happens when humans get an mRNA V word. A lot of them are not doing well. So again, I guess we're going to find out. This next one is a study, and have you heard of lipoprotein a? So when you think of cholesterol panel and heart health things, you think of like total cholesterol and LDL, maybe small dense LDL particles. Well, one of those advanced markers, and we talked about it in my book, Cholesterol Clarity, if you want to learn more about all the markers of cholesterol and heart health, is lipoprotein a. So it's LP and then a parentheses, little a, and then in parentheses. So this is a case study. Does a ketogenic diet lower a very high lipoprotein a? So the thinking is high lipoprotein a means you have a higher propensity for heart disease. So they found a striking experiment in a male physician. So this physician decided to try to lower his lipoprotein a on his own. And so what he did, he's 55 years old, specializes in preventative medicine. He also is a triathlete with a BMI of 24.9 and a maximum oxygen consumption, blah, blah, blah. Average exercise per week, 7 to 10 hours. His lipoprotein a in 2004 was between 92 to 97. It measured 108 in 2013. He observed a much lower lipoprotein a of 65 in 2018. And then he went on a low-carb ketogenic diet for endurance athletics. So in July 2020, he saw an increase back to 101. Anyway, it's fluctuated back and forth. So he wanted to see, could I change that lipoprotein a? And so in July of 2020, he switched from very low-carb ketogenic diet to a high-carb, low-fat diet. He ate a minimum of 400 grams of carbs for 2 weeks. Nutrition protocols were documented in a nutrition app. His weight remained unchanged. Remember, he's athletic, so he's probably working those off. He takes a statin medication of 10 milligrams at night. Physical activity levels kept at 2 hours per day. And so his lipoprotein dropped down from 95 to 101 down to 67 to 69 after 14 days on the high carb, low fat diet. So that's interesting. When he went back to the very low carb ketogenic diet, it fell again. While on the very low carb ketogenic diet, beta hydroxybutyrate levels reached 0.8. And to my knowledge, this is the first observation of such a large change in lipoprotein a simply from diet modification. Because up until now, most doctors try to use like prescription-based like fish oil and things like that to get lipoprotein a down. This is actually the first diet modulation. I would love to see this widely studied a little more. I have not been able to find any study done on patients using nutrition with a very high LDL or LP a. And so if you can drop a very high lipoprotein a below 100 with dietary intervention to below 70, this might translate into a significant risk in reduction for cardiovascular disease. So really interesting that he did that N=1 experiment, wrote a paper up about it so that people could see what he found. But that's in the BMJ Nutrition and Prevention Health Journal. So December 2020 was when that came out. Really interesting, and I love it when doctors are proactive at doing things themselves, and then they're like, all right, I proved it in me, now go prove it in a bunch of people. And then the last one, you guys, another study, this just came out last week, association between the proportions of carbohydrate and fat intake and hypertension risk. And so it's findings from the China Health and Nutrition Study. They used data from that study from 91 to 2011, looking at 10,459 Chinese participants over the age of 12. And so they compared with the participants who consumed a medium proportion of carbohydrate and fat diet, the individuals who consumed a high carb and low fat diet, and they looked at like their risk of developing hypertension. And so what they found was if you ate a high carb, low fat diet, you had a much higher risk of developing high blood pressure, especially those who were young, especially those living in rural areas, those who consume alcohol. A low carb, high fat diet was not associated with hypertension, and these associations were observed at the majority energy intake level, meaning they ate plenty of calories in that low carb, high fat diet, and yet they still did not see their blood pressure go up. So it's always good to keep an eye on research that is out there showing that there's benefits to carbohydrate restriction. Okay, you guys, so this is Ask Me Anything here on Jimmy Rants. This is my last Jimmy Rants for a little while, so if you got a question for me, please write it down below, and I will get to it here in just a moment. And yes, if you came in late, I am going away on a very short time away, definitely all of next week. So no Jimmy Rants at all week long next week. I know some of you are sad about that because you love this show, and I appreciate you very much and your faithfulness in watching. But I have almost 700 episodes of this. Go watch all the replays on jimmyrants.com or YouTube or wherever you watch. So plenty of information. But my podcast will still be going on, so you'll still have things to watch and listen to. But before I get to your questions, I have some that came in ahead of time. So Victoria said, I try my hardest to learn from your lessons to just shake it off. Yet even with my faith and my stress, sometimes I can't get there. Even my closest family members are completely opposite than my husband and me. It's heartbreaking. We can barely talk with family members on anything these days. We tried to go to Costco to get together to get today, and while seeing many people wearing masks, standing, getting soda, cookies, and junk, I just couldn't take it. I didn't say a word. I just walked away. So I know you experience the same stresses of life, work, and stupid trolls. Thank you for caring and talking about how it can get to all of us. Yeah. And she wrote that before I said I was going away. Guys, I think we just need to acknowledge life's pretty tough right now. And it's okay. Like some people, when I've talked about how difficult things are, they're just like, you just need to buck up. And I'm going, okay, you haven't understood life. If you think when things get tough, it just means you need to get tougher. You need to buck up. And no, it's okay. It's okay to feel. It's okay to not be okay. And so I feel you, Victoria. And I understand. And it is hard. It's why Jimmy is very proactive at paying attention to what's going on in him. And as I said at the beginning of today's show, I'm struggling right now. I'm in kind of the doldrums, and I'm not sure why. I've got some suspicions, but the last year's been tough, and you're going to have those moments, and you're going to have things that will trigger you, and just be kind to yourself above all. Chris says, and I like this question, Chris, by the way. Thank you for this. What are some of the rarely shared or talked about passions and hobbies that you have? Ooh. Well, I talk about a lot of the things. So I tell you, I have backyard chickens, and I love my chickens, and I take care of them. I think I've told you that I like to play disc golf, so that's cool. I'm a fiend on the karaoke stage. If we ever go on like a cruise again, or I'm in a place where there's karaoke, Jimmy Moore is going to rule the stage, because I don't pick like boring songs. I pick the hard songs. You want Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm your guy. You want Lady Gaga, I'm your guy. I'll do a little Rick James Super Freak. I've done You Can't Touch This with dancing and all. Yeah, I don't hold back. Like, I love being free on the stage in that way, because it's silly and it just lets you be free. And again, I miss all of that right now with all the restrictions. What other things do I have? Passions and hobbies. Like I don't live a real fascinating life, to be honest. It's not that exciting, but I guess those are things I don't talk about a lot. The singing karaoke. I don't know. I pour myself into my work so much. I don't have much outside work because that keeps me plenty busy. I do love to play words with friends. So if you ever want to play, just know that yes, I'm the friendly guy you see on camera. But when you start a game of Words with Friends and we're in competition, I will crush you. That's how I roll. I don't, even my mom, she still plays me, and I beat her by 300 points every game. And she still plays me only because she's like, I just want a connection to my son. I'm like, sorry, Mom, but even you, I can't let you win. I have to crush you. So if you want to play me, if you dare, Live in Low Carb Man is my username over there on Words with Friends. So if I get a lot of mysterious game requests, I'll know where they came from. You watched Jimmy Rants today. But I do love my word games. It keeps my brain sharp, and I am a bit of a word nerd. I have a friend that I talk to now, and she says, I love talking to you because I learned like 3 or 4 new words I'd never heard of before. Expand your vocabulary, people. I do want to do a Jimmy Rant soon on like pet peeves about language, because people misspell words all the time. The people that want to lose weight instead of lose weight, or you're awesome, but they spell it Y-O-U-R instead of Y-O-U''R-E. Yeah, I have little pet peeves like that with English. That's coming. I have so many of them. I will definitely do a whole episode, an English class with Jimmy Moore. Next question. Do you add any tags when you use your Oura Ring? So I wear this little ring that tracks my sleep. Primarily is what I use it for. It does some other things, but that's the primary reason I wear it. They did add this feature where you can add tags. No, I don't add any tags because I'm not having people look at my data. I'm not ashamed of it because I post it every day on my Instagram stories. But no, I do not use any of the tags over on Instagram. Kelly, who I think I saw over here on the Twitch, she says today is her favorite day. My favorite day. Mine too, Kelly. I love Ask Me Anything. Literally, you guys always surprise me with the questions that you ask on these days. Next question. What supplements can I take when I'm fasting without breaking my fast to keep my energy and blood pressure levels up? Great question. Honestly, when I go on a fast, and I'm assuming you're referring to an extended fast because I don't really count intermittent fasting as fasting. Yes, it's a fast in as much as you're going without eating, but there's no supplements you need in that period of time because at some point during that day, you are eating. And so you can take your supplements with your food. I would be cautious if you're doing an extended fast, which is anything 2 days or longer, of taking supplements on an empty stomach. I made that mistake one time during a fast, and I had so much flushing. I had so many reactions, nausea. Oh my God, it was horrible. I felt like I was going to throw up. I don't think you worry about supplements when you're fasting because the fasting itself is acting like a supplement in your body. And so I don't worry about it. Now, if you've got medications you have to take and things like that, then what Dr. Fung and I wrote in our book, The Complete Guide to Fasting, is have a little bit of something, like 50 to 100 calories of some food, maybe a few nuts or whatever, just a little something, and then take your medication. But if you don't have to take the supplements you're taking, then just skip them while you're fasting. There's no big deal. You're not fasting indefinitely. You're only fasting for a few days, maybe a week or so at the most. And so just don't take your supplements on those days. Do intake of salt. And when you get your salt levels right, that will balance your blood pressure, which you're worried about. Your blood pressure should not fall extremely low if you're salting up enough, hydrating enough, and all the things. But thank you for that question. And then the last question before I come to you guys And this is the one that was kind of ugly. So bear with me a second because I just want to read it and then I want to respond. Honest question for you, Jimmy. You have been at this for so long. So why are you getting heavier and heavier in weight? You seem almost as heavy as when you started. Do you think you might have a thyroid problem? Do you even exercise? I'm not meaning this to be critical, but a lot of people talk online about how you spend so much energy on this, but you have no sustainable weight loss yourself. I wonder if something else is going on that would fit you better metabolically than keto. Okay. I love how people try to define what success is for someone else. So when you talk about diet, people often jump to weight loss as the primary goal. And in general, the primary end goal for a lot of people when they go on some kind of a diet is weight loss. Now, I have been at this for a very long time, and I want to ask the question. By the way, I'm nowhere close to 410, which was my original weight. But I am up from my lowest, obviously. And I've talked about that many times. I don't want to beat a dead horse of the things I've said before. But the new wrinkle here is I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still very energetic. I'm still super sharp on camera. Do you think that happens by accident? Do you think that the nutrition that I'm doing is failing me because I have weight on the body, but simultaneously I have all of these good things happening in my health? And I think we're so narrowly defining what health means by only focusing on the weight that you're robbing people who are having incredible success. And I'm not just talking about Jimmy Moore. I'm talking about anybody. If you judge them based solely on what they look like and what their weight is and pretend like that it's about the weight for all people, you're robbing those people. Like, I know a lot of you guys write to me and you're like, I'm so glad you keep talking about all the health benefits even though the weight's not coming off, because that's what I experience too, but I'm made to feel bad because my weight is still high. And guys, that is so 1990s. Can I be honest? That mode of thinking that it's only about your weight, that is the way we thought 20, 30 years ago. Welcome to the 21st century, 2021, we care about metabolic health. Now, yes, if you get metabolic health fully optimized, you should lose weight. That is how it's supposed to work. But it's not axiomatic. It's not going to automatically happen for everyone. And we need to stop shaming people who are doing perfectly good in their health just because you don't see the changes that are happening on the inside. So yes, I do have weight on the outside. I have talked about that ad nauseum. I don't hide. I am on camera every single day. So I'm out here sharing boldly, proudly, energetically, intellectually, entertainingly every single day. So if the connotation is you have weight on the body, therefore you are declining in health, will you please tell me when my decline in health is supposed to happen? Because I haven't seen it yet. And I get righteous indignation to these kinds of things. And I know they couched it with, oh, I'm not meaning to criticize you, but people talk about how you talk about this so much, but you're not able to sustain weight loss. What if weight loss is not my goal? Then what? We need to get off of defining other people's journey. And people have defined Jimmy Moore's, or tried to, Jimmy Moore's journey for 17 years. It ain't your journey. You can comment on it if you want. You can say what you want about it. But at the end of the day, the only person's opinion about it that matters is me. And that's always going to be true. All right, you guys, it is your turn. Ask me anything. So go ahead and get me your questions. Looks like a bunch of questions have already been typed in. Thank you so much, you guys. We're going to go here first to Instagram, then over to Facebook, finally over to Twitch. Thank you all for being here today on Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. Takes a lot of strength to admit you need to step away. Good for you and take care. Thank you, Marnie. I appreciate that. If you missed the beginning, you guys, those of you that came in late, I am stepping away from my work for a period of time, not 6 months like I did 2 years ago, but at least a little over a week. I'll reevaluate next weekend to see how I feel, but I've been kind of in a funk and doldrum mentally, so I'm going to step away to try to figure out what that is. And rejuvenate myself that way. Everyone needs rest. You do so much. Enjoy your time. Thank you, Yellow-Eyed One. I will. Terry says, on the other side, I get no alone, quiet time. Oh, yeah. I've had many of my friends that have family and the quarantine and everything, and they're like, I would love to be alone. And so I'm like, I guess it's a yin and yang thing. You don't want too much alone, but you don't want too much all around everybody all the time as well. But yeah, I'm a social guy, so it's been tough being by myself. Charles says, Jimmy, if I understand the carnivore diet, you only eat meat and fat. If protein intake is more than moderate, is there a way to control the gluconeogenesis so that it would equal glucose impact of 50 grams of low carb? So, yeah, you could definitely tinker around with it. See, carnivore, people try to make this hard. Carnivore is super easy. All you do is eat the proteins that and then the natural fats that come with it. And so if you're consuming a meat, don't trim off the fat necessarily unless it's just gobs of it. But like different people are going to need different amounts of fat versus having protein. So, but I don't worry about it. I think if people simply just ate the animal-based food and then had the natural fats that come with it, they're good to go. I think we make it a little bit harder than it needs to be when it comes to carnivore. Eggs are the perfect example of a perfect carnivore food. Just the perfect amount of fat and protein that your body needs. So don't overthink it. Don't worry about G&G. I think at the end of the day, if you're not eating a bunch of lean meats, then you should be good. I think what happens is people like eat a bunch of chicken breast thinking that'll be better, and then they're wondering why they're hungry and not feeling well. All right, let's see. Terry says, I was so into keeping a fasting window, wasn't letting my blood sugar come down enough. I think that might be why my HbA1c is 6.2. Terry, that's a great observation. And yeah, if you need to push the fasting window a little longer, there's certainly nothing wrong with pushing your fasting much longer than you think you might be able to do. Let me know how that goes and if I can do anything to help. And definitely if you need help understanding fasting a little bit, how to do it well, I do know a little book about it called The Complete Guide to Fasting. All right, thank you, Instagram. Let's pop over here now to my Facebook page. What's up, Facebook? Judy says, sorry you feel overwhelmed. I hope you find peace and get some much needed time for you. I'm not sure overwhelmed is the word, Judy. I'm certainly, like I said, I'm feeling the doldrums. I've been going through a personal issue for about 1.5 years that I thought would be resolved by now, and it's not. It's still ongoing. And so until it's over, it's going to continue to be there. We're closer to being over than I was like 1.5 years ago, obviously. But it's still that unknown when you have an unknown. Well, we're all dealing with it with the virus out there. Everybody's like, when's this going to be over? We just don't know. So it's kind of working mentally on people. So being aware of that, stepping away, doing things for self-care, I think is so important. But thank you for that. Tanya says, good morning. Hope you have a good brain break. I can totally relate. Yes, I need to get away. And I so sorely miss people. I think over the weekend, I'm going to call a few people that I know and just say, hey, can I come visit? Because I need human contact. I need people. And I think that's what's making it difficult for me right now. It's funny you should say this. I hadn't felt much of the crisis until recently, mostly because I dove into my nutritional health programs They kept me focused, but when I got 9-1 DIVOC in December and now have to deal with my 94-year-old dad and his 9-1 DIVOC, depression hit, and I've never really had it before. See, guys, this is a little thing that I will tell on myself. I am a workaholic. I obviously put out a lot of content. I do 5 Jimmy rants a week. I do 4 podcasts a week. I write daily posts on social media. I'm all the time. My fingers are in a lot of different pots all at the same time. And I came to the realization that when I'm hurting and when I have things going on, I push myself to work even more. And so I don't always recognize it. I just see it as, oh, look, I'm being more productive. Oh, look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And at some point, you have to know your limits. And it's not that the work is pushing me to feel the doldrums per se. The work kind of covering it up. So I need to strip it all away so that then I can address what happened. That's what happened during the 6-month sabbatical. I completely went away from all of my work, and when it all got stripped away and all that was left was me and my feelings and dealing with the stuff in my life, was when I could finally deal with the stuff in my life. And so I'm sorry you're going through that, Tanya, but certainly try to deal with it the best you can. It sounds like awareness at least is there for you, so that's a good first start. Marcella says, when I had cancer, I was normal weight. Yeah, I hate this too because, and I've talked about this, when we judge people on the outside because of the perception they're unhealthy because there's weight on their body, what about all those people who are metabolically damaged, metabolically unhealthy, have insulin resistance, but they are normal weight? So the whole thin outside, fat inside, the TOFI people. Nobody would look at them and go, oh, wow, what a unhealthy person you are. And yet if somebody has weight on their body, oh my God, you're going to die tomorrow. And that's kind of the perception. It's something I'm over in the culture. And the fact that I'm still talking in this industry over 15 years after I started at a heavier weight than when I originally lost weight, but still below my original weight of 410. And in a much better physical place and health place than I ever was at 410. It kills me how people equate, oh, you've gained back all the weight. No, I haven't. Oh, you're so much more unhealthy now. No, I'm not. Like, it's just all a perception game. All right, thank you, Facebook. Let's pop over here now to Twitch. What's up, Twitch? See what you have to say on this fine Friday. I'll miss you, but self-care is so important. Thank you, Kelly. It is. If we don't take care of ourselves, nobody will. I feel you on the personal thing, says Annabelle, starting the same process now after a long time myself. You have such an awesome support system. Lean on who you need to lean on. I've got good people in my life. My best friend, Brittany, she hears from me way too much. So I try to spread it out to other people, and I've got those people in my life I can count. And I wrote a post about this week. I've got about 6 or 7, like really strong go-to friends that if, when I'm done with Jimmy Rants, I need to talk, I could text and say, hey, you available? That they would almost immediately call me. And we would talk, and it's wonderful to have those people in your life. And so definitely try to surround myself with those kinds of people. Grizz says, you're so very appreciated. Thank you. You guys make me feel that every day with your presence here. So I appreciate that. Cariana says, I'm mystified by people who have watched this unfold and concluded the government cares about them. Yeah, well. Don't put your trust in government is the answer to that one. Always trust yourself. Shirley says, have you roller skated before? When I was a kid, that was a big thing. And all I remember was falling and busting my ass. It was not fun. I hated roller skating. I even tried ice skating. They're like, it's easier than roller skating. No, it's not. I still busted my ass, and this time I got freezer burn. I started taking the kids. We love it. It brings back a feeling of normality because not many people wear masks in there. Well, that's good, Shirley. I'm glad that you enjoy that. No, I'm not. I can barely be balanced on 2 feet on the ground, much less 2 feet with 4 wheels on them on the ground. So, yeah, not going to go roller skating anytime soon. I value what few brain cells I have left if I was to bust my head open. Kelly says, I get the same thing regarding you're so big, so you must be unhealthy. No one believes that I'm carnivore because I can't lose weight. I'm very metabolically challenged and I'm working on it. Well, see, that's the thing. We need to get out of feeling guilty out of other people's comments. Can I just infuse that into you and anyone else that needs it? But you, Kelly, because you and I are kindred spirits in this. I don't have to explain my weight to anybody. I don't. And so if you feel the need to judge me because you think my weight represents something bad, go ahead. I've been told you're a horrible representation of the ketogenic diet. You should just go ahead and kill yourself now. I've had people write, quote unquote, that very thing to me. So at the end of the day, I don't have to answer to anybody but myself. You, my dear, don't have to answer to anybody. Don't let them steal your shine. You know what you're doing. You know exactly who you are. You know how you feel. Don't let them get you discouraged. But I understand it can get discouraging. Hang in there. Cariana says, hope you have a wonderfully refreshing time off. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. Marcus says, retire if you can. I wish I did it 40 years ago. No, I have too much to say to retire, Marcus. I don't want to ever retire from what I get to do. Like, I have a voice. I have a talent for speaking and writing. I ain't going anywhere in that realm. I don't want to retire, honestly, because I don't ever feel like I work. And this time away is not because of the work. I love the work. I love coming on Jimmy Rants. I love writing posts. I love all the things I get to do. It's a cool gig. And Jimmy hasn't felt like he's had to work for over 15 years. But the mental stuff can be overwhelming, and you have to kind of process that. And so that's what I'm going to do in my time away. I do things I like. Glad I don't like expensive things, says Marcus. Yes, sir. I hear you on that one. My best friend says, I'm always here for you. Yes, you are. You always are. And that's why I love you, Brittany. And I appreciate your presence in my life. Everybody needs a Brittany in their life. If you don't have a best friend that you can call, you need to make that. And like I wrote in my post this week on social media, you need to find your tribe. And the way you do that is just live authentically who you are. And when you're you and you stop trying to pretend to be something you're not just to get people to like you, you'll find your people. Brittany and I found each other, totally different people, but we found each other on shared trauma and on shared diet and other things. And then we learned more about each other, and we still have major differences on things, but we bond on those things that we care about with each other. And so it's really cool. It's really cool. Brittany says she's not wishing that you find a Brittany in your life. The spirit of a best friend was my point, Brittany. But yeah, she has her moments, just as Jimmy has his moments. Marcella says, I ended up marrying my best friend. Well, good. That's the ideal situation for sure. So guys, you're out of questions for me. So this is my last Jimmy Rants for a little bit. Definitely all of next week. So don't fret that I'm not here. I have so much content. Go catch up on past Jimmy Rants episodes. I'll tell you what, speaking of Brittany, if you have not caught the One Step Deeper podcast, go watch our episodes. We have 10 episodes. Episode 11 will air on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So come join us live on Sunday at 4 p.m. But go catch that podcast, because if you're in the mindset and beliefs and like questioning what you believe and why you believe it and all the things. We get into that subject hot and heavy on the One Step Deeper podcast. So go look it up on YouTube. Just type in One Step Deeper and you'll find our show. But Brittany and I do a really good show. And this Sunday's episode, I think, is the best one we've done. And for a brand new podcaster, she's amazing. And yeah, she put in there the Instagram page, One Step Deeper Podcast over on Instagram. You can see all the videos there as well. But check that out. So that airs on Mondays on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and everywhere. Tuesday is still the best of Jimmy Rants. Wednesday is a brand new interview on Living La Vida Low Carb Show. And then Thursday is Real Talk Podcast. Next Thursday's Real Talk, I have Leanne Vogel from the keto community. And she went through a journey herself over the past year and a half that got her really, really, really low before she found herself. And it was a real raw conversation. Please don't miss checking out Leanne Vogel on Real Talk next Thursday. Look forward to sharing that. But I guess this is goodbye for now. I appreciate you guys watching today. And yeah, just wish me some peace and love and fun. I'm going to try to do something fun. I'm still deciding what I want to do. I live close enough to different places that are fun. And plus I do want to go see some people in my life I care about. So I'm going to reach out to a few of them and say, can I come visit? So I don't get to do that in the day-to-day. So I'm going to avail myself of this opportunity, but I will miss you guys. But I'll be back soon. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And as always, you can engage live in the content. Come follow me right here over on Instagram. I am at Jimmy Rants. We do go live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So thank you so much for being here today. We simulcast live over on Facebook as well as Twitch. Don't forget, download the Twitch app. Easy to download. Then follow Jimmy Moore Rants. You'll get the show over there and you can watch it live. If you missed the live, you can watch it on the replay here on the Jimmy Rants Instagram page, IGTV. Also, replay is on Twitch. It's also on YouTube. Type in a keyword Jimmy Rants at YouTube. You'll find the show. And then finally, JimmyRants.com. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself at 11 a.m. Eastern Time all next week, but I'm going to figure something out, you guys. So I don't know when I'm coming back, but when I come back, just know I will be rip-roaring, ready to go to provide all kinds of stuff for you. So thank you so much for all the love and kindness today, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye.